Hello everyone, welcome back to MalStorm Gaming. My name is Malachi Gardner, and today I'm going to be finishing my playthrough of To the Death by Brian Garber. I hope you all enjoy the video. So last time, things took a bit of a south turn when our Shadow Mage was defeated, and now we're up against the Captured Troll, who has quite a few different skull abilities. So as you can see, things get a little bit more complex as things go on, and it ends on a pretty complex note. The Captured Troll is actually going to make things even more complex, because if we read his Trapper's ability here, it says, at the beginning of the first enemy turn, put 2 random monsters from outside the game into play as trappers. When a trapper is defeated, remove it from the game. When there are no trappers in play, this enemy is defeated. So, we're going to get 2 more enemies at the start of the enemy turn that are going to come into play that I pulled randomly from the box. So that's going to add even more abilities and crazy things going on. Let's just go through reading his other abilities. So, Ally, when this enemy attacks, it attacks an enemy of your choice. And then Cruel, when another enemy's weapon checks a 7+, deal 1 damage to this enemy. And that's skull ability here. At the end of the first enemy turn, deal 1 damage to each enemy. Okay, and then let's go through the skull abilities here. So first we have the Banshee. At the end of each hero turn, each hero adjacent to an exhausted hero is dealt 1 damage. And just to clarify, an exhausted hero is a hero who has 1 hit point remaining. Then we have the Ancient Bones. The Ancient Bones says, draw 1 less card during the draw step for each far hero. Okay, so we may want to move up our Archer so that doesn't apply to us. Spirit Vortex. Alright, so let me have the Spirit Vortex here. After you activate a hero ability with an 8, each enemy makes a skill check of 9 to attack. Now, the thing is, there are going to be 3 enemies, so that's going to have a really high chance of activating. So that'll be interesting. And then heroes have -1 skill. So we have a lot of different skull abilities. And then, yeah, so our Archer is down to 2 hit points, our Monk is down to 5, and our Exiled King is actually still at 6, which is nice. So, where we left off last time, it was actually the end of our turn, so we are going to shuffle up this deck of Arsenal cards, and then we are going to draw 5 cards, -1 because our Archer is far, so that's going to be 4 cards, and then we'll move on to the enemy turn. So hopefully we are able to defeat the Captured Troll's Trappers and then the King that comes after, because there's only 1 more round in this game where we fight the King, who is going to be very tough. Alright, so all shuffled up. So we're going to go ahead and draw 4 cards to go to our hand, and then we'll set this right here. Now, it's the beginning of the enemy turn, and we are going to activate the Trapper's ability. So let's see what I drew. So we have 2 cards here. Let's see what the first one is, and it is a Salt Wraith. So the Salt Wraith has the Parch ability. At the beginning of the first hero turn, exhaust each hero. Oh, wow. That's not very good. Okay, next one, Salty. For each damage dealt to this enemy, put a salt pile into play. At the end of each hero turn, discard each salt pile and deal 1 damage to the hero whose suit matches it. Oh my goodness. And then Corrosive. When this enemy's weapon damages a hero, discard any card from your hand. And then finally, when an enemy weapon damages a champion or fighter hero, that enemy heals 1 damage. This is not good, folks. It's going to reduce all of our heroes to 1 hit point automatically, and of course, if we see from the Banshee's skull ability, at the end of each hero turn, each hero adjacent to an exhausted hero is dealt 1 damage, so that could get out of hand. The Salt Wraith is going to have 5 hit points, so we'll set that right here, and he's going to start far, and the Captured Troll also starts far, and has 6 hit points, so that's set up. So there, and then finally, we have the Ratman. Quick to the fray at the beginning of each enemy turn. If this enemy is far, it moves near and charges. Okay. So normally monsters just kind of stay where they are, but some monsters, like the Ratman, can actually move around, which is interesting. Scythe. This enemy's printed melee weapon deals +1 damage and can't miss. Near heroes, regardless of its check's value. After this enemy attacks, if any of its melee weapons checked a 7+, it attacks. Huh. That is not good. Finally, Squeal. After this enemy has dealt damage, it moves far and attacks with its tail, which is a range attack of 3. And then a skill ability. At the beginning of each enemy turn, each enemy heals 1 damage. Wow, that's bad. He's going to have 6 hit points and start far as well. Okay, well, those are some tough enemies. Not looking forward to this. Alright, so the Trapper's ability went off, and that's at the beginning of the enemy turn. Let's see for any other beginning of turn abilities. So Parch, at the beginning of the first hero turn, exhausts each hero, so that's going to happen in just a little bit. And then the Ratman, at the beginning of the enemy turn, if this enemy is far, it moves near and charges. So it is actually far, so we're going to move it near. Then, it is going to charge, so it's going to be able to hit near enemies like normal, but it's also going to be able to hit far enemies, such as our Archer. So that's bad. And it also has a Scythe ability, so this enemy's printed melee weapons have +1 damage and can't miss near heroes. Yeah, that's also going to be bad. And then after this enemy attacks, if any of its melee weapons checked a 6+, it attacks again. So it can keep on attacking, which is really bad. Also, they're going to be healing a lot, so actually, at the beginning of each enemy turn, each enemy heals 1 damage. They're all at max health already, but this is just not good. So when there's multiple enemies, you can actually resolve their attacks and start of turn abilities in any order, as long as you do all of them. So we've done all of our start of turn abilities, and now we can start the attacks. I'm actually going to start with the Captured Troll, because I don't want there to be any chance of the Captured Troll dying before it gets its turn. Because remember, it has the ally ability, so it's going to be attacking our enemies. So, I think that it would be a good idea to start with the Ratman. Start trying to take out the Ratman. So I'm going to attack. So the Captured Troll has 2 range attacks of 4. And so I'm going to start the first one targeting the Ratman. Okay. So it has a 6 of hands, and it's going to get +4, and the Ratman only has 5 armor, so that is going to be a hit. Now, it has Squeal, so after this enemy is dealt damage, it moves far and attacks with its tail. So that is going to move back down far, and it's actually going to interrupt the Captured Troll's turn to make an attack. So it's going to make a range attack of 3, targeting the Sword class, which is the fighter. So that's going to target our Archer. So it's going to have 7 plus 3, so that's going to be 10. Now I could discard a card to block it. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. I could discard a card to block it. So then the Archer would not be dealt damage and would be protected so that you'd still have 2 health, so it could take another hit. But, of course, it's going to go down to 1 health on its turn anyway. So do I want to prevent the damage now, or would I rather have the extra card on my turn? So preventing the damage now would be a little bit safer, it'd be less risky. But if I were to press my luck a little bit, I could actually have a more effective turn. Well, this is interesting. I'm not quite sure what to do. I really want to be able to have 4 cards. That way, I'll be able to rest with all of my heroes and move the Archer near. But at the same time, I don't want to risk just having my archer die. So I'll risk it. I'll risk it. Maybe this is a bad idea, and you all will be able to judge whether this is a good idea or a bad idea, I guess, after I do it. So the archer is going to lose 1 hit point. So now he is exhausted, that stinks, but because of the Salt Wraith's Parch ability, at the beginning of its turn, it's already just going to be exhausted, so it's not going to be able to be dealt more damage, so that's not terrible. But of course, there's still going to be a couple more attacks on the enemy's turn, which could be bad. Very bad. So, alright, that was the first Capture Troll's attack, which then triggered the Ratman's response attack, but the Capture Troll is going to be able to make a second attack. And it's going to target the Ratman as well. So that's going to be a 6 plus 4, and the Ratman again has 5 armor, so that's going to be a hit. Oh, that's interesting. The Salt Wraith ability here, I just remembered this. When an enemy weapon damages a champion or fighter hero, that enemy heals 1 damage. So the Ratman actually heals 1 damage, putting it back up to 6 before the Capture Troll hits it. So it goes up to 6, then it actually goes back down to 5 when the Capture Troll hits it. That stinks. Man, I don't know. This may not end well. Let's continue. So that was the Capture Troll's turn. And that's another thing I forgot. The Ratman checked a 7, which means he drew a 7 from the Arsenal deck. And because of the Capture Troll's Cruel ability here, whenever another enemy's weapon checks a 7 plus, deal 1 damage to this enemy, so it's going to lose 1 life as well. This isn't that going well so far, but let's continue. So now that was the Capture Troll's turn. Let's move on to the Salt Wraith. So we're going to discard 2 cards, or it's going to make 2 attacks of 3, and they're range attacks. So that's going to be a 0 of helmets plus 3. So the Exiled King has a 7 to his armor stat, so that's going to be a miss. Then for the second attack, it's going to be another sword, and it's going to be 5 plus 3, so that's going to be 8. And oh my goodness, I am going to go down. Well, the archer is going to be defeated. Alright, so let's think about this. The archer died because I was trying to press my luck, so it is actually my fault that the archer died. Let's move everything over a little bit. It is my fault that the archer ended up dying because I pressed my luck a bit. It would have ended up, like, if the archer had not been attacked a second time, it would have ended up being really good for us. But he was attacked, and so I probably should have blocked it. But I did not. I was trying to press my luck a little bit, and I did so a bit foolishly. Well, let's continue on, and maybe our monk and our exiled king can survive. Let's see. Okay. So, also, the Salt Wraith has Corrosive, so when this enemy's weapon damages a hero, discard any card from your hand. So this is not great. I'm going to discard this 7. Alright, then the Ratman is going to go, and he actually has a melee weapon. Now, he did charge. And so basically there's this weird thing that happened where Quick to the Fray moved him up, and he charged, which when you charge, you choose a near hero, and in this case would be an enemy. While that hero or enemy is near, its melee weapons can attack far enemies. Thing is, the Captured Troll hit him, so he did his Squeal ability and moved down. So he's actually not going to be able to hit anyone because he is far when he's trying to make a melee attack. So he's just going to miss automatically, but we still need to draw a card. So that's going to be an 8, and the Captured Troll does lose 1 life due to the Cruel ability on its card. So the Ratman, in effect, was able to hit the Captured Troll. And then, with the Scythe ability, after this enemy attacks, if any of its melee weapons checked a 6+, it attacks again. So it's actually going to attack again. And it's going to miss the heroes again, but that was, of course, to just see if it were to hit the Captured Troll again, which would have been bad. So now, it is the hero turn. The Salt Race Parch ability is going to reduce everyone to 1 hit point. Alright, so this is looking fantastic. Another thing I forgot, and the thing is, there's a ton of abilities here, so I'm probably going to forget things every so often, but hopefully I catch everything, and if I don't, please leave a note in the comments letting me know. So, the Captured Troll's Skull ability, at the end of the first enemy turn, deal 1 damage to each enemy, so that's going to deal 1 damage to the Captured Troll, 1 damage to the Salt Wraith, and 1 damage to the Ratman. Alright. So now we have 3 cards in our hand, and I am going to just discard 1 card to rest with both of them. It's not the most exciting way to spend a turn, but because of this ability here, the Skull ability, saying at the end of each hero turn, each hero adjacent to an exhausted hero is dealt 1 damage. Now, they're both adjacent to exhausted heroes because they are, well, they're both exhausted. So this guy is adjacent to this guy who is exhausted, and this guy's adjacent to this guy who is exhausted. So they will both die if I don't do anything. So I need to heal them. Now, I could do the Healing Fist, which says when this hero's melee weapon checks a 7+, heal 1 damage from this or an adjacent hero. And then I make an attack, and that would be a riskier move. So because of what happened with our last risky endeavor, it did not go well, and our archer ended up dead. We do not have much room to try crazy stunts like that anymore, because if we were to do something like that and the monk were to die, that would just be, the end. There's no recovering from that, really, from all 3 of our characters dying. So there's really no room for error anymore. So I am not going to do the risky thing, and I'm just going to rest with both my characters. So starting with the monk, I'm going to discard a card, so I'll discard this 2 right here, and I am going to heal the monk 1 damage. And now, it has this ability right here, which I'm going to be able to take advantage of. So it says, heroes heal plus 1 damage when they rest, which means that now that I am going to discard this 4 right here to rest with the Exiled King. Instead of going up to 2 hit points, he's going to go up to 3 hit points, which is good. Alright, now I have this final card here. I could either discard this, or I could keep it for my next turn. 6s are always nice to have, so I'll just keep it, and I'll draw up to my hand size, which is 5. And there's our hand right there. Then, we're going to go on to the enemy turn. First off, at the beginning of each enemy turn, each enemy heals 1 damage. So, I'll go there. Then, quick to the fray, at the beginning of each enemy turn, if this enemy is far, it moves near and charges. So that's going to go up there. Let's see, are there any other abilities that trigger now? This one is just for the first enemy turn. Yep, that's everything. So now we're going to be able to get going. So I'm actually going to start with the Captured Troll again, because same reasons as last time. I want him to be able to hit the enemies for us before he dies. And it actually worked pretty well, moving the Ratman back. So I'm going to try that again. So I'll attack with the Captured Troll. And it's going to be a 5 of hands plus 4. That's going to be a hit to the Ratman. And I'll go for, before I go again, for the second attack, I'm going to move this Ratman far because of his Squeal ability. And he's going to attack with his tail with a range attack of 3. So let's see what this is. It's 2 hand. So 2 plus 3 is actually enough to hit the monk because he does not have great armor. He only has 5 armor, except the exiled king has a ability here saying this and adjacent heroes have +1 armor, so it actually misses the monk, which is nice. And it is only a 2, so it does not damage the captured troll. So that's good. Then we're going to go on to the second attack for the captured troll, and it's going to be an 8. And I'm going to deal 1 more damage to the Ratman. Then I'm going to do the Salt Wraith's turn. So I am going to make 2 attacks with 3, being the modifier for that, and there are both range attacks. So let's see what this is. It's a 4 plus 3 to the wand, which is the Magician. Now, the Magician is unfortunately dead. What this means is that the enemy will shift its focus to the next alphabetical class. So, from Magician, which is MA, it's going to go to Mender, which is ME. So it's going to attack the Mender for a 4 plus 3, so that's going to be 7. Now, I cannot discard any cards to block that, and 7 is greater than 5 armor that the monk has, plus the 1 from the exiled king, so 6 total. It still is not enough, so the monk is going to be dealt 1 damage. Then I have to discard a card because of the corrosive ability, and I think I want to discard this 5 right here. Okay, then for the second Salt Wraith attack, it is going to be a 3 plus 3, so it's going to be a 6 towards the Mender, who has 6 armor with the Exiled King's bonus, and attackers always win tie, so he is going to be able to hit me, but luckily I have this 3 right here, so I'm going to discard this 3 and block that, because we do not want another one of our characters dying. So, that's good. Now it's the Ratman's turn. He's mostly pacifized, but he is still going to be able to make an attack and possibly damage the captured troll. So we'll make an attack, and this is a 4. So, that is not going to hit anyone because he is far and you are near, but he is also not going to be able to damage the captured troll because he drew a 4, not a 7 or an 8. And since he did not get a 6 plus, he is not going to be able to attack again with his scythe attack, so he is not doing anything this turn, which is good. Now, I am going to be able to go on to my turn. I have these 3 cards right here. And what would I like to do? So, I am thinking that I want to get more hit points. So I think I am going to discard this 6 right here to rest with the monk, so he's going to go up to 2 hit points. And then, yeah, I'll discard this 7 right here to heal 2 more hit points from my exiled king. And it's going to be because it's going to be 1 plus 1 from this ability right here, which is very helpful. So now I can either keep this card or discard it. I think I'm going to keep it. I'll draw a couple more cards. Alright. 2 zeros. Those are not great because they do not actually trigger any of your hero's printed abilities, and they're terrible for blocking. Oh well. So now we're going to go on to the enemy's turn, and they're each going to heal 1 hit point, and actually the Salt Wraith is at max, so he's not going to heal up to 6, and then the Captured Troll is going to go up to 5, and now I'm going to start again with the Captured Troll, hoping to kill him. Actually, first, the Ratman is going up to near, and then I'm going to attack with the Captured Troll. That's going to be 3 plus 4, and that's a hit. Then the Ratman's moving down, and he's going to make a range attack of 3. So let's see what this is, and it is a 0 plus 3, so that's going to be a miss. Nice. Then the Captured Troll is going to make his second attack, and he's going to hit the Ratman a second time. That's good. So now he's down to 2 hit points. which we may be able to finish him off on our turn, which would be good. Then the Assault Wraith is going to go. He's going to make 2 ranged attacks of 3 again, and it's going to be 5 plus 3, targeting the Exiled King. And I do not have 5, so he's going to be dealt 1 damage. And when an enemy weapon damages a champion or fighter, that enemy heals 1 damage. Now he's already at max, so it's not going to do anything, but he has the corrosive ability, so I'm going to have to discard a card, so I'll discard one of these zeros. Finally, the Ratman's going to go. Sorry about that. The Assault Wraith is actually going to make a second attack. And it's going to be 4 plus 3, so it's going to be 7, targeting the fighter. Now, the fighter's not in here, so it's going to target the Magician. Now, the Magician's not here, so it's going to target the Mender. So, the Mender, who is our monk, is going to be attacked with an attack of 4 plus 3, 7. And I do not have a card to discard, so I'm going to take another hit. Then it's going to go back to our Ratman, who is, again, mostly pacified. So, but not quite. He's going to make an attack, and it's going to be an 8, which misses the characters because he's making a melee attack and he's far. There's no real benefit to doing that usually, but he is going to hit the Captured Troll because it's a 7 plus, and because it's over 6, he's going to make another attack, which is, again, that is going to be enough to damage the Captured Troll, and he's going to make a third attack just after we shuffle up this deck. So the Captured Troll, I mean, the Ratman could just keep on making attack after attack after attack, which could be bad, to say the least. Because if our Captured Troll dies, that would be terrible. So the Captured Troll right now is the only one who's doing damage. We're just resting. So we're taking a little break, and he's doing all the heavy lifting. So now we're going to make a check, and it's a 0, so the cycle is completed. Now it's going to go on to our turn, and the monk is probably going to need to rest. I could try for a Healing Fist, but again, that's pretty risky, so I'm just going to discard this 0 right here, and I'm going to heal 1 hit point. Then, the Exiled King, he is actually going to attack, and maybe do something useful. So I'm just going to do a basic melee attack, so I'm going to discard this. I'll discard this 2 right here to make an attack, but I also need to discard an additional card because I need to charge. So I'll discard this 6 right here, and I'm going to be able to make an attack on the Ratman, and I'll just discard this card to get a +1. So that's going to be 5 plus 1 for my focus, and then +3, and so that's a hit. The Ratman's going down to 1 hit point, and then I'm going to draw 5 cards. Alright, nice spread of numbers there. Could have been useful to have more numbers, but we have 3 numbers, that's not bad. So first, all the enemies are going to heal. And the Assault Wraith is still at max. I'm trying not to damage the Assault Wraith right now because of its salty ability. But, yeah, I'll get to him in a little bit. So now the Ratman's going to move up, and then I'm going to start the Captured Troll targeting the Ratman. Now, the Captured Troll is going to make 2 attacks, and the Ratman has 2 health. So there's actually a chance of the Captured Troll defeating the Ratman. So let's see if that happens. Alright, that's going to be 4 plus 4, so the Ratman is really easy to hit. He gets hit, he's going to move down. Alright, so now he's going to make an attack of 3, range attack of 3, and he's going to target the Mender. So he's going to be able to hit the monk, and I have nothing to discard that would allow me to block. So the monk is going to go down to 1 hit point, and then is also going to damage the Captured Troll. So now he's down to 3 hit points. Okay, well, now I'm going to make the Captured Troll's second attack, so let's see what that is. It's a 3. So that is going to be enough to defeat the Ratman. So, he is no more, because the Trapper's ability specifically says that when a Trapper is defeated, remove it from the game. So, it's actually not going to burden us with its skull ability any longer. Now, we just have the Assault Wraith and the Captured Troll, who is actually helping us. So, let's see if we can take him out. Alright, so now the Assault Wraith is going to go, and he's going to make 2 ranged attacks like usual. And this is going to be a 3 plus 5, sorry, 5 plus 3 rather. And he is going to hit the monk, and I have nothing to discard. So that is going to defeat the monk. Well, it was starting to look good for just a little bit, but now not so much. If I were to guess, I would say that I'm going to be able to defeat the Assault Wraith, and then the king is going to just completely obliterate my exiled king, who is now alone. But who knows? I could end up winning. I have won once where I had just had 1 hero left fighting against the king, so it can be done, but I'm doubtful. So, the Assault Wraith is going to go. Or, sorry, the Assault Wraith is actually going to make his second attack, so he is going to go. And it's going to be a 6. And now all weapon attacks are going to be targeting the exiled king. Now I'm going to discard this 6 right here and block that. I was hit, so I do need to discard another card, so I'll just discard this. I'll discard this 4 right here. Alright. So, I am now... So it's now my turn. And the Exiled King's abilities all, like, help other people. Especially adjacent targets. For example, discard a card. Each other hero gains a noble blade. And then you can attack. King's Blade, change the printed value of an adjacent hero's melee weapons to 3. I like that one a lot. And then adjacent heroes that rest of this turn may do an attack, either ranged or melee, and then you get to rest. They all help other people, so I'm pretty much just left to basic attacks, which is annoying. Okay, so I actually have a little bit of a crazy idea. What if I were to discard this 8 to make an attack? Now, after you activate a hero ability with an 8, each enemy makes a skill check of 9 to attack. Now, that's usually really bad, and you want to avoid that. But the captured troll would also be able to attack. So that's my thought. What if the captured troll was to attack as well as me? So the captured troll and I would both attack the Assault Wraith. But of course, there is a chance that the Assault Wraith would attack us as well. I don't know. I kind of feel like that might be the thing to do, possibly. Or we could just do that next turn, because what we could do is the Assault Wraith is actually really easy to hit, so it only has 5 armor. The Captured Troll is going to be making 2 ranged attacks of 4, so it just needs to get a 2. The only way it could miss if it were to draw is if it were to draw a 0. And that's not super likely. If I were to do 1 damage to it, the Assault Wraith, and then the Captured Troll is going to do 2 damage to it, so I put it down to 2 hit points. And then, you know what? I think I am going to do this. So I'm going to discard this 8 here. I'm going to discard this 4 as well to be able to charge. And I'm just going to make a basic attack. So here we go. And that's going to be 3 plus 3. And that's going to be a hit to the Assault Wraith, so it goes down to 4 hit points. Now, Salty ability will go off, so that's a salt pile right there. And we'll have to see if that damages anyone. Now, the Captured Troll is going to make a skill check, as well as the Assault Wraith, so we'll start with the Captured Troll. And it's a 0, so, oh well, it didn't work. And now, the Assault Wraith did work, so I really need to stop doing things like this. I could have easily just defeated the Assault Wraith. Instead, what happened is that the Assault Wraith makes an attack on me, an extra attack. So, oh well, you'd think I'd learned my lesson, but I do not. So, the Assault Wraith is going to make 2 free attacks that are ranged. So, 7. Okay, well, then the Exiled King is going to be dealt 1 damage, and the Captured Troll is going to be dealt 1 damage. I made a mistake. I also need to discard this card right here. So there's no chance of me blocking anything anymore. Assault Wraith's going to make another attack, and it is going to hit as well. And then the Capture Troll's going to be losing 1 extra hit point, and because the Assault Wraith hit me, he's going to heal 1 hit point, because whenever an enemy weapon damages a champion or fighter, that enemy heals 1 damage. Yep, this is not good. Not good at all. Then, we're going to flip over this card and see what happens, but actually, let's see. At the end of each hero turn, so I actually draw cards first, so I'm going to draw 5 cards before that happens. And here's our hand right here. And then to 2. And it is a champion thing. Champion helmet. So it is going to hit me. Now, interesting thing about this, the way I read it, it does not actually shift targets. So if an enemy were to attack and it draws a wand, it's going to target the Mender instead of the Magician if the Magician is defeated. But with this, it actually does not shift target. So if the Salt Pile were a wand, it actually would not deal damage to anyone, which, that's good, but doesn't really matter. I still got hit, and I have 1 life left. Yay. I have a really good chance of blocking, actually, because I have an 8, a 2, a 0, a 6, and a 5. So all these cards are unique, so I have a pretty good chance of blocking the attacks against me. But if 1 gets through, I'm dead. So here we go. The Capture Troll is going to go first, like usual. And it's going to be a 4 plus 4. It's going to hit the Salt Wraith. And then the Salt Wraith is going to put out a Salt Pile. Then the Capture Troll is going to go again and hit him again, which is going to put out another Salt Pile. And then the Salt Wraith is going to go. It's going to be a 3 plus 3. That's a miss. Second attack, we're going to shuffle up this deck here. When you have this many enemies out, you shuffle this deck often. Alright, it's going to make 1 more attack, and I have a large chance of dying. Yep. This, hopefully, draws something quite low. It's a 4. Well, 4 plus 3 is the exact number he needed to defeat me, and, of course, I don't have a 4. Well, I'm toast. So, yep, the Exiled King has been defeated. And, yeah, I mean, he would have... These Salt Piles actually wouldn't have done anything, so that's good. But he is still defeated, and there's no way of changing that. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, watching me just be beat down into a pulp. This game can be quite brutal at times, as you saw there, and it can give you sometimes it gives you chances to do something cool that can backfire on you, like when I discarded that 8. It could have meant that the Salt Wraith just would have been defeated, but what actually ended up happening was the Capture Troll did not make any attacks, and the Salt Wraith killed me. So, that also happened with the Archer. So there's a lot of these things that I probably should just learn from experience and not take the bait, but I do. No, actually, both those times, it could have worked, and it could have been really good, but the luck of the draw, I guess. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great time gaming. Happy gaming, everyone!